Shalom, everyone on YouTube. Yeah, I just gonna put to you this really powerful video. Um, this is basically the end of the book of Enoch, and I wanted to read to you guys Enoch's prophecy and against the unrighteous, and Enoch instructing everyone to live righteous, etc. It's a really good read. It, and I am going to read from Enoch chapter 91 up until Enoch 108, which is the end of the book of Enoch. So I'm just gonna enjoy reading this to you all, and hope you all, just be favored listening to this great video that I'm about to read from Enoch chapter 91 to Enoch chapter 108. All right, so Enoch chapter 91. So there it says, "And now, my son Methuselah, call to me all your brothers and gather together me all the sons of your mother. For the words called me, and the Spirit is poured out upon me, and I may show you all matters that shall befall you forever. And therefore Methuselah went and summoned to him all his brothers and assembled his relatives. And he spoke to all the children of righteousness and said, Hear you, sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hear the voice of my mouth. For I urge you to say unto you, beloved, love uprightness and walk in it, and do not draw near to uprightness with a double heart, and do not associate with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my sons. And it shall guide you on the good paths, and righteousness shall be your companion. For I know that violence must increase on the earth, and a great chastisement shall be executed on the earth, and all unrighteousness comes to an end. Therefore it should be cut off from its roots, and its whole structure be destroyed. And unrighteousness shall again be consummated on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and transgression shall prevail in a double amount. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence and all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come upon the heavens upon all of these. And the set apart master shall come forth with wrath and chasteness together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under the heavens. And all the idols of the nations shall be abandoned, and the temples burned with fire. And they shall remove them from the whole earth, and they shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in wrath and grievous judgment forever. And the righteous shall arise from their sleep, and wisdom shall arise and be given unto them. And after that the roots of unrighteousness shall be cut off, and the sinner shall be destroyed by the sword, and the blasphemers destroyed in every place. And those who plan violence and those who commit blasphemy shall perish by the sword. And now I tell you, my sons, and show you the paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. Therefore I will show them to you, that you may know what will come to pass. And now hear me, my sons, and walk in the path of righteousness, and do not walk in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the paths of unrighteousness shall perish forever. The book written by Enoch. Enoch indeed wrote this complete instruction of wisdom, praise of all men, and a judge of all the earth, for my children who will dwell on the earth, and for the generations to come, who shall observe uprightness and peace. Let not your spirit be troubled on the account of the times, for the set apart and great one has a walk in the paths of righteousness, and all his way and conversation shall be in eternal goodness and favor. He will show you favor to the righteous and give him eternal uprightness, and he will give them power, and he shall be in goodness and righteousness, and he shall walk in eternal light. And sin shall perish in darkness forever, and shall be seen no more from that day unto everlasting. Chapter 93. And after that Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books. And Enoch said, concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, concerning the plant of uprightness, I will speak these matters. Therefore I, Enoch, will declare unto you, my sons, according to that which appeared unto me a vision of the heavens, and which I have known through the word of the set apart messengers, and have learned from the tablets of the heavens. And Enoch began to recount from the books and said, I was born seventh in the first week, while judgment and righteousness still endured. And after me there shall arise in the second week of great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up, and in it shall be the first end. And in a man shall be saved, and after it is ended, unrighteousness shall grow up, and a law shall be made for the sinners. And after that, in the third week, as its close, a man shall be elected as a plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness for everlasting. After that, in the fourth week, at its close, the visions of the set apart and righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and enclosure shall be made for them. And after that, in the fifth week, at its close, the house of esteem and dominion shall be built forever. And after that, in the sixth week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall wickedly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. And after that, in the seventh week, shall an apostate generation arise, and its deeds shall be many, and all its deeds shall be apostate. And at its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. For who is there of all the creation of men that is able to hear the voice of the set apart one without being troubled? And who can think of his thoughts, and who is there that can look upon all the works of the heavens? And how should there be one who can look upon the heavens? And who is there that could understand the matters of the heavens, and see a being or a spirit, or could tell of it, or ascend of all their ends, and think of them, or do like them? And who is there of all men that could know what is the breadth and the length of the earth, and to whom has shown the measure of all of them? Or is there anyone who could discern the length of the heavens, and how great its height, and upon it founded, and how great the number of stars, and where all the lights rest? Chapter 94. And now I say unto you, my sons, love righteousness and walk in it, for the paths of righteousness are worth our acceptance. But the paths of unrighteousness shall suddenly be destroyed and vanish. And to certain men of a generation shall the path of violence and of death be revealed, and they shall hold themselves far from them, and shall not follow them. And now I say unto you, the righteous, do not walk in the paths of wickedness, nor in the paths of death, or do not draw near to them, lest you be destroyed. But seek and choose for yourself righteousness for an elect life, and walk in the paths of peace, and you shall live and prosper. And hold fast my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and do not allow them to be erased from your hearts. For I know that sinners will tempt men to evilly entreat wisdom, so that no place may be found for her, and no manner of temptation may diminish. Woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression, that lay deceit as a foundation, for they shall suddenly be overthrown, and they shall have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for from all their foundation they shall be overthrown, and by the sword they shall fall. And those who acquire gold and silver in judgment shall suddenly perish. Woe to you, you rich, for you have entrusted in your riches, and by your riches you shall stray, because you have not remembered the Most High in the days of your riches. You have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and have become ready for the day of slaughter, and the day of darkness, and the day of the great judgment. Thus I speak and declare before you, he who has created you will overthrow you. From your fall there shall be no compassion, and your Creator will rejoice at your destruction. And your righteous ones in those days shall be a rebuke to the sinners and the wicked. Chapter 95. Oh, that my eyes were a cloud of waters, that I might weep over you and pour down my tears as a cloud of waters, so that I might rest from my trouble of heart. Who has permitted you to practice reproaches and wickedness? And so judgment shall overtake you, sinners. Do not fear the sinners, you righteous, for again Yahuwah will deliver them unto your hands, that you may execute judgment upon them according to your desires. Woe to you who speak out curses, which cannot be reversed. Healing shall therefore be far from you because of your sins. Woe to you who reward your neighbor with evil, for you shall be rewarded according to your works. Woe to you, lying witnesses, and to those who weigh out injustice, for suddenly you shall perish. Woe to you, sinners, for you shall persecute the righteous, and you shall be delivered up and persecuted because of injustice, and its yoke shall be heavy upon you. Chapter 96. Be hopeful, you righteous, for suddenly the sinners shall perish before you, and you shall have authority over them according to your desires. And in the day of the tribulation of the sinners, your children shall arise and rise as eagles, higher than vultures will be in your nest. And you shall ascend and enter the crevices of the earth, and the clefts of the rock forever, as rabbits before the unrighteous, and the demons shall sigh because of you and weep. Therefore fear not, you that have suffered, for healing shall be your portion, and a bright light shall enlighten you, and the voice of rest you hear from the heavens. Woe to you, you sinners, for your riches make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners, and this fact shall be a witness against you for a remembrance of evil deeds. Woe to you who devour the finest of wheat, and drink wine in large bowls, and tread the lowly underfoot with your might. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, and suddenly you shall be consumed and withered away, because you have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be a remembrance against you for evil. Woe to you, you mighty, who with the righteous, for the day of your destruction is coming. In those days, many and good days shall come to the righteous in the day of your judgment. Chapter 97. Believe you righteous, that the sinners will become ashamed and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Be it known to you that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and messengers of the heavens rejoice over your destruction. What will you do, you sinners? And where will you flee on the day of judgment when you hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? Therefore, you shall be like them against whom this word shall be a witness. You have been companions of sinners. And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall reach unto Yahuwah. For you the days of your judgment shall come, and all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read out before the great set apart one, and your faces shall be covered with shame, and he who will reject every work which is grounded on unrighteousness. Woe to you, you sinners, who live in the mid-ocean and on the dry land, whose remembrance is evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold in unrighteousness and say, we have become rich with riches and have possessions, have acquired all that we have desired. And now let us do what we schemed, for we gathered silver, and the farmers are many in our houses, and our granaries are full with water. Therefore, like water, your lies shall flow away, for your riches shall not endure, but speedily depart from you. For you have acquired it all in unrighteousness, and you shall be given over to a great curse. Chapter 98. And now I swear unto you, to the wise and to the foolish, shall have many experiences on the earth. For you men shall put on more adornments than women, and more colored garments than a maiden, and royalty and splendor and power, gold, and in purple and splendor in food, they shall be poured out as water. Therefore, they shall be lacking in instruction and wisdom, and they shall perish thereby together with their possessions, and with all their esteem and their splendor, and in shame and in slaughter, in great destitution. Their spirits shall be cast into the furnace of fire. I have sworn unto you, you sinners, as a mountain has not become a slave, and a hill does not become a husband, even no sin has not been upon the earth, but man of himself has created it. And under a great curse, they who commit it shall fall. And barrenness have not been given to the women, but on the account of the deeds of her own hands, she dies without children. I have sworn unto you, sinners, by the set apart great one, in that all your evil deeds are revealed in the heavens, and none of your deeds of oppression are covered and hidden. And do not think in your spirit, nor say in your heart that you do not know, and that you do not see that every sin is recorded in the heavens every day in the presence of the Most High. From here on, you know that all your oppression with which you oppress is written down every day until the day of your judgment. Woe to you, you fools, for through your folly you shall perish, and you transgressed against the wise, so goodness shall not be your portion. And now know that you are prepared for the day of destruction. Therefore do not hope to live, you sinners, but you shall depart and die. For you know no ransom, for you are prepared for the day of the great judgment, the day of tribulation, and the great shame of your spirits. Woe to you, you obstinate of heart, who work wickedness and eat blood. For where have good to eat and drink and be filled from all the good which Yahuwah the Most High have placed in abundance on the earth, therefore you shall have no peace. Woe to you who love the deeds of unrighteousness. Why do you hope good to happen unto yourselves? Know that you shall be delivered unto the hands of the righteous, and they shall cut off your necks and slay you, and have no compassion upon you. Woe to you who rejoice in the tribulation of the righteous, for no grave shall be dug for you. Woe to you who bring to naught the words of the righteous, for you shall have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and wicked words, for they write down their lies that men may hear them and act wickedly towards your neighbor. Therefore, they shall have no peace but die a sudden death. Chapter 99. Woe to you who work in wickedness and exalt in lying and exalt them. You shall perish, and no favored life shall be yours. Woe to you who pervert the words of uprightness and transgress the eternal law and transform themselves into what they are not, into sinners. They shall be trodden underfoot upon the earth. In those days prepare you righteous, and to raise your prayers as a remembrance, and place them as a witness before the messengers, and that they may place the sin of the sinners for remembrance before the Most High. In those days the nations shall be stirred up, and the clans of the nations shall rise on the day of destruction. And in those days the destitute shall go forth and carry off their children, and they shall abandon them, so that their children shall perish through them, and also they shall abandon their nursing infants, and not return to them. Shall they have no pity on their beloved ones? And again I swear to you, you sinners, that sin is prepared for a day of unceasing bloodshed. And they who worship stones and graven images of gold and silver and wood and clay, those who worship impure spirits and demons, and all kinds of idols not according to knowledge, shall get no manner of help from them. And they shall become wicked because of the wickedness of their hearts, and their eyes shall be blinded through the fear of their hearts, through the vision of their dreams. Though these they shall become wicked and fearful, for they shall have wrought all their work in a lie, and shall have worshipped a stone. Therefore, in instant they perish. In those days, favored are all they who accept the words of wisdom, and understand them, and observe the ways of the Most High, and walk in the path of righteousness, and do not become wicked with the unrighteous, for they shall be saved. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbors, for you shall be slain in the grave. Woe to you who make deceitful and false measures, and who cause bitterness upon the earth, for thereby they shall be utterly consumed. Woe to you who build your houses through the grievous toil of others, and all their building materials are the bricks and stones of sin. I tell you, you shall have no peace. Woe to them who reject the measure of eternal heritage of their fathers, and whose beings follow after idols, and no rest. Woe to them who work unrighteousness and help oppression, and slay their neighbors until the day of the great judgment. For he shall cast down your esteem, and bring affliction on your hearts, and shall arouse his fierce indignation, and destroy you all with the sword, and all the set apart and righteous shall remember your sins. Chapter 100. In those days in one place the fathers together with their sons shall be smitten, and brothers one with another shall fall in death, till the streams flow with their blood. And a man shall not withhold his hand from slaying his sons and his sons' sons, and the sinner shall not withhold his hand upon his honored brother. From dawn until sundown they shall slay one another. And the horse shall walk up to the breast in the blood of sinners, and the chariot shall be submerged to its height. In those days the messengers shall descend into the sacred places, and gather together into one place all those who brought down sin, and the Most High will arise on that day of judgment, and execute the great judgment amongst sinners. And over all the righteous and the set apart he will appoint guardians from among the set apart messengers, to guard them as the apple of his eye, till he makes an end of all the wickedness and all sin, and through the righteous sleep a long deep sleep, they shall have nothing to fear. And the children of the earth shall see the wise in security, and shall understand all the words of this book, and recognize that their riches shall not be able to save them in the overthrow of their sins. Woe to you, sinners, on the day of the strong anguish, you who afflict the righteous and burn them with fire. You shall be rewarded according to your works. Woe to you, you obstinate of heart, who watch in order to devise wickedness. Therefore fear shall come upon you, and there shall be none to help you. Woe to you, you sinners, on the account of the words of your mouth, and on the account of the deeds of your hands, with your wickedness has wrought. In blazing flames burning, those worse than the fire you shall burn. And now know that from the messengers he shall acquire as your deeds in the heavens, from the sun and from the moon and from the stars, in reference to your sins, Based on the earth, you execute judgment on the righteous. And he shall summon to testify against you every cloud and mist and dew and rain, and they shall all be withheld because of you from descending upon you, and they shall be mindful of your sins. And now give presence to the rain, and it that it not be withheld from descending upon you, not nor even the dew, when it has received gold and silver from you, that it may descend. When the frost and snow with their chilliness, and all the snowstorms with all their plagues will fall upon you, in those days you shall not be able to stand before them. Chapter 101. Observe the heavens, you children of the heavens, and every work of the Most High, and revere him, and work no evil in his presence. If he closes the windows of the heavens and withholds the rain and dew from descending on the earth on your account, what will you do then? And if he sends his anger upon you because of your deeds, and you cannot petition him, for you spoke proud and insolent words against his righteousness, therefore you shall have no peace. And do you not see the sailors of the ships, and how their ships are tossed to and fro by the waves, and are shaken by the winds, and are in much trouble? And therefore they fear, because all of their pleasant possessions go upon the sea with them, and they have evil forebodings of the heart, and the sea shall swallow them, and they shall perish therein. Are not the entire sea and all its waters and all its movements the work of the Most High? Has he not appointed limits to his doings, and confined it throughout by the sand? At his rebuke it is afraid and dries up, and all its fish die, and all that is in it. But you sinners that are on the earth do not revere him. Has he not made the heavens and the earth and all that is in them, who has given understanding and wisdom to all that moves on the earth and in the sea? Do not the sailors of the ship revere the sea? Yet sinners do not revere the Most High. Chapter 102. In those days when he has brought a grievous fire upon you, where will you flee, and where will you find deliverance? And when he launches forth his word against you, will you not be frightened and revere? All the lights shall be frightened with great fear, and all the earth shall be frightened and tremble and be alarmed. And all the messengers shall execute their commandments, and shall seek to hide themselves from the presence of the great esteem. And the children of the earth shall tremble and quake, and you sinners shall be cursed forever, and you shall have no peace. Fear not, you beings of the righteous, and be hopeful that you have died in righteousness. And do not grieve if your being has descended into the grave in grief, and that in your life, in your body, do not fare according to your goodness, but wait for the day of judgment of sinners, and for the day of cursing and chastisement. And yet when you die, the sinners speak over you. As we die, so the righteous die. So what benefit do they reap for their deeds? And see, even as we, so they die in grief and darkness. For what have they more than we? From here on we are equal. And what will they receive, and will they see forever? See, they too have died, and hereon forever they shall see no light. I tell you, you sinners, you are content to eat and drink, and rob and sin, and strip men naked, and acquire wealth, and see good days. Have you seen the righteous, how their end comes to pass, that no manner of violence is found in them until their death? Nevertheless, they perished and became as though they had not been, and their spirits descend into the grave in tribulation. Chapter 103. Now therefore I swear to you, the righteous, by the esteem of the great and honored and Father in dominion, and by his greatness I swear to you, I know a mystery, and have read the tablets of the heavens, and have seen the set apart books, and have found the writing in them, and written regarding them, that all the goodness and joy and esteem are prepared for them. and the written down for the spirits of those who have died in righteousness, and that much good shall be given to you in reward for your labors, and that your lot is abundantly beyond the lot of the living. And the spirits of you who have died in righteousness shall live and rejoice, and the spirits shall not perish, nor their remembrance from that before the face of the Great One unto all the generations of the world. Therefore no longer fear their revealings. Woe to you, you sinners, when you have died, if you die in the wealth of your sins. And those who are like you say regarding you, favored are the sinners, they have seen all their days, and how they have died in prosperity and wealth, and have not seen tribulation or murder in their life, and they have died in honor, and judgment have not been executed on them during their life. Know that their beings will be made to descend into the grave, and they shall be wretched in their great tribulation, and into darkness and chains of the burning flame, where there is grievous judgment, your spirit shall enter, and the great judgment shall be for all the generations of the world. Woe to you, for you shall have no peace. Do not say in regard to the righteous and good who are in life, in our troubled days we have toiled laboriously and experienced every trouble and met with much evil and have been consumed and have become few and our spirits small. And we have been destroyed and have not found any to help us, even with the word. And we have been tortured and destroyed and have not hoped to see life from day to day. We hope to be the head and have become the tail. We have toiled laboriously and had no satisfaction in our toil, and we have become the food of the sinners and the unrighteous, and they have laid their yoke heavily upon us. And they have had dominion over us and hated us and smote us. And to those that hated us, we have bowed our necks, but they did not pity us. We desired to get away from them that we might escape and be at rest, but found no peace where we should flee and be safe from them. And we complained to the rulers in our tribulation and cried out against those who devoured us, but they did not attend to our cries and would not hear our voice. For they helped those who robbed us and devour us, and those who made us few. They concealed their oppression, and they did not remove from us the yoke of those that devoured us and dispersed us and murdered us. And they concealed their murder and did not remember that they had lifted up their hands against us. Chapter 104. I swear unto you that in the heavens and the messengers remember you for good before the esteem of the Great One, and your names are written before the esteem of the Great One. Be hopeful, for beforehand you were put to shame through ill and affliction, but now you shall shine as the lights of the heavens, and you shall shine as you shall be seen, and the doors of the heavens shall be opened to you. And in your cry for judgment, and it shall appear to you, and all your tribulations shall be visited on the rulers, and all who help those who plundered you. Be helpful and do not cast away your hopes, for you shall have great joy as the messengers of the heavens. What shall you be obliged to do? You shall not have to hide on the day of the great judgment, and you shall not be found as sinners, and the eternal judgment shall be far from you for all the generations of the world. And now do not fear, you righteous, when you see the sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways. Do not be companions with them, but keep far from their violence, for you shall become companions of the hosts of the heavens. And although you sinners say, all our sins shall not be searched out and be written down, nevertheless, they shall write down all your sins every day. And now I show unto you that light and darkness, day and night, see all your sins. And do not be wicked in your hearts, and do not lie, and do not alter the words of uprightness, nor charge with lying the words of the of the set apart great one, nor take account of your idols, for all your lying and all your wickedness do not come forth in righteousness, but in a great sin. And now I know this mystery, that sinners will change and pervert the words of righteousness in many ways, and will speak wicked words and lie, and practice great deceits, and write books concerning their words. But when they write down truthfully all my words in their languages, and do not change or diminish aught from my words, but write them all down truthfully, all that I first testified concerning them, then I know another mystery, that the books will be given to the righteous, and to the wise to become a cause of joy and uprightness and much wisdom. And to them shall the books be given, and they shall believe in them and rejoice over them. And then all the righteous who have learned from them and all the path of uprightness shall be recompensed. Chapter 105. In those days Yahuwah spoke to Simon and testified the children of the earth concerning their wisdom. Show upon them, for you are their guides, and a recompense over the whole earth. For I and my son shall be united with them forever in the paths of uprightness in their lives, and you shall have peace. Rejoice, you children of uprightness. Let it be so. Chapter 106. And after some days my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she shall become pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow, and red as the blooming of a rose, and the hair of his head with long locks were white as wool, and his eyes were pleasant. And when he opened his eyes, he lit up the whole house like the sun, and the whole house was very bright. And after that he rose in the hands of the midwife concerning his mouth, and conversed with Yahuwah of righteousness. And his father Lamech was afraid of him, and fled, and came to his father Methuselah. And he said unto him, I have begotten a strange son, different from an unlike man, and resembling the sons of the mighty ones of the heavens, and his nature is different, and he is not like us, and his eyes are as rays of the sun, and his face is magnificent. And it seems to be he is not brought forth from me, but from the messengers, and I fear that in his days wonder may be wrought upon the earth. And now, my father, I am here to petition you and implore you that you may go to Enoch our father and learn from him the truth, for his dwelling place is among the messengers. And when Methuselah heard the words of his son, he came to me for the ends of the earth, for he had heard that I was there, and cried aloud. And I heard his voice and came unto him. And I said to him, See, here I am, my son. Why have you come to me? And he answered and said, Because of a great cause of anxiety I have come to you, and because of a disturbing vision I have approached. And now, my father, hear me. Unto Lamech, my son, there have been born of son, the like of whom there is none, and his nature is not like man's nature. And the color of his body is whiter than snow, and redder than the bloom of a rose, and his hair is on his head is whiter than white wool, and his eyes are like the rays of the sun. And he opened his eyes, and after that lit up the whole house. And he rose in the hands of the midwife, and opened his mouth, and favored Yahuwah of the heavens. And his father Lamech became afraid, and fled to me, and did not believe that he was brought forth from him, but he was in the likeness of the messengers of the heavens. And see, I have come to you, that you may make known to me the truth. And I, Enoch, answered and said unto him, Yahuwah will do a new matter on the earth, for this I have already seen in a vision, and make known to you, in that the generation of my father Jared and some of the messengers of the heavens transgress the words of Yahuwah. And see, they commit sin and transgress the law, and have united themselves with women and commit sin with them, and have married some of them, and have brought forth children by them. And they shall produce on the earth giants, not according to the spirit, but according to the flesh, and there shall be a great punishment on the earth, and the earth shall be cleansed from all impurity. Therefore there shall come a great destruction over the whole earth, and there shall be a flood and a great destruction for 1 year. And this son who has been born unto you shall be left on the earth, and his 3 children shall be saved with him. When all mankind are on the earth shall die, he and his son shall be saved. And now make known to your son Lamech that he who has been born in truth his son, and call his name Noah, for he shall be left to you. And he and his son shall be saved from the destruction which shall come upon the earth on account of all sin and all unrighteousness, and shall be consummated on the earth in his days. And after that there shall still be more unrighteousness of that which was the first consummated on the earth. And I know the mysteries of the set apart ones, for he, Yahuwah, has showed me and informed me, and I have read in the tablets of the heavens. Chapter 107. And I saw written on them that generation upon generation shall transgress, till a generation of righteousness arises, and a transgression is destroyed, and sin passes away from the earth, and all manner of good comes upon it. And now, my son, go and make known to your son Lamech that this son which have been born is in truth his son, and that it is no lie. And when Methuselah has heard the words of his father Enoch, for he had shown to them all the matters in secret, he returned and showed to him, and called the name of that son Noah, for he will comfort the earth and after all the destruction. Chapter 108, the last chapter. Another book which Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah, and for those who will come after them, and keep the law in the last days. You who have done good shall wait for those days till an end is made of those who work evil, and an end of the might of the transgressors. And wait till sin has passed away, for their names shall be blotted out of the book of life, and out of the set apart books, and their seed shall be destroyed forever, and their spirit shall be slain. And they cry and make lamentation in the place that is wilderness of confusion. And in the fire they shall burn, and there is no earth there. And I saw there what looked like an invisible cloud, for because of its depth I could not look over. And I saw a flame of fire blazing brightly, like the shining of the mountains, circling and sweeping to and fro. And I asked one of the set apart messengers who was with me, and I said unto him, what is this shining? For it is not the heavens, but only a flame of a blazing fire, and the voice of weeping and crying and lamentation and strong pain. And he said unto me, this place which you see, here are cast the spirits of sinners and blasphemers, of those who work wickedness, for those who pervert all matters that Yahuwah has spoken through the mouth of the prophets, and the matter shall be. For some of them are written and inscribed above in the heavens, in order that the messengers may read them and know which shall befall the sinners, and the spirits of the humble, and of those who have been afflicted in their bodies, and have been recompensed by Yahuwah, and of those who have been put to shame by wicked men, who love Yahuwah, neither gold nor silver, nor any of the pleasures which are in the world, but gave over their bodies to torture, who, since they came into being, did not long after earthly food, but regarded all matters as a passing breath, and live accordingly. And Yahuwah tried them much, and their spirits were found pure, so that they should favor his name. And all those favors destined for them I have recounted in the books, that he has assigned them to their recompense, for they have been found to be such as the loved of the heavens more than their life in the world. And though they were trodden underfoot of the wicked men, and experienced abuse and reviling from them, and were put to shame, yet they favored me. And now I saw Simone, the spirits of the good who belonged to the generation of light, and I will transform those who are born in darkness, who in the flesh were not recompensed with such honor as their trustworthiness deserves. And I will bring forth in shining light those who have loved my set apart name, and I will see each on the throne of his honor. And they shall be resplendent for generations without number. For righteousness is the judgment of Yahuwah, and to the trustworthy he will give trustworthiness, and the dwelling of upright paths. And they shall see those who are born in darkness led into darkness, while the righteous shall be resplendent. And the sinners shall cry aloud and see them resplendent, for they indeed will go where days and seasons are prescribed for them. All right, this is it for this subject. That was the end of the book of Enoch. Just finished with that. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And this is a warning to those that are in lawlessness and rebellion, etc. It's a warning. This is a very important and critical video. So I hope you can take this into consideration and continue to warn the people out here in this present evil times that we're living in. All right. May Yahuwah continue to be with you all, and hope you have a wonderful day.